Good morning, and welcome to the Skeinz Diaries. You're with Maree. How's everyone today? I was just look how I unintentionally color coordinated for the background. I sort of kind of feel like I'm blending in. How is everyone? Gosh, it's almost here, much cooler. Having to get the woolies out, it's been really nice. I've spent a couple of days actually out with the old de-piller, giving everything a bit of a freshen up. And it's been awesome, actually, and it's amazing. You get the de-piller out, particularly this time of year when you're heading into you've had everything shelved for the summer, and you pull things out and you think, "Oh, that's just looking a little bit ratty." So you get your de-piller out, and it's amazing. Get the de-piller out, and it just is incredible. That it just freshens things up, because ultimately, if you've got your knits and they are wool or alpaca or essentially a natural fibre, they don't really need a wash, and at best maybe an air. But yes, I've been doing a bit of de-pilling the last few days, and it really is quite satisfying, and it just freshens everything up incredibly well. We've got an amazing de-piller. We've got the fabric shavers. So I think if you just put fabric shaver in the search, they come up. And these are electric, and they are fantastic. So I sort of took the shop one home, and it was brilliant. So good. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome along. Yes, so I love it. So that's what I've been doing the last couple of days. Loads of fun. And you may have seen too, I've had a little bit of a knitting, well, not a knitting crisis. I finished the baby stuff, and I've not got anything big on the needles at all. So when in doubt, I go to Scrappy Blanket. Whenever I'm finding my knitting mojo's just sort of a bit, I go to Crochet Scrappy Blanket, and I actually popped that up on the socials, and someone said, "What does it look like?" And I brought it in because that's it there. It weighs a ton. It's quite a size, and I've been working along on this one now for it'd be a couple of years. I start them. It would be probably maybe coming up to 2 years this winter. So what I've done since I've been at home this time is probably from there. So I've done from there down. So I've done about that much, which is quite a bit when I show you when I hold it up completely. But there is all sorts in here. So we've got some, so up here, we've got some flight. Hold on. So we'll start from there. That is what I'm actually doing at the minute. Then we've got some hand paint stuff, which was, a lot of these are Ian Kelly play-arounds or die house play-arounds. That was one that was sitting around in my office for years. And when I say years, like more than a decade. So I decided to do something with it. There's good old Disco from Pulse. Below it is another little Ian Kelly. I don't quite know what that is, but let's crochet it up. Below that is some leftovers of, that's a little leftover there of some Cascade that I had. That's some, I have no idea what that is. It's just some random little bits and pieces. That's leftover Malabrigo that I had from something else. And a lot of these are just part skeins, like little bits and fiddly bits and stuff. And then when we got down into here, I was working again with this because I had quite a bit of this. So there was some more of that. Then I threw in some scrappy bits of Pulse. Then heading into this zone, so sort of for there, about there, is some kaleidoscopes. Who remembers that? The kaleidoscopes. I had some of those. I had about 3 or 4 balls of them. And so I hit the kaleidoscopes, I had a single ball of each colour. And so I hit the kaleidoscopes, and then there is some leftover purple in the Malabrigo, and now I'm back to this. And it all started, and I'm going to hold this up now because someone did ask in the socials about holding it up. It is the world's biggest granny square, so it's not very exciting. So there it is there. So there's got a big central panel. But as you can see, It is a complete collection of randoms. It's a random. So I'm starting to actually chew through all my leftovers that are prints or randoms, and like little set off a single ball of that and a part ball of something else. So I'm probably going to add, maybe I might buy a few of these. So that's our pulse, obviously. That's the Dolce, which I think is perfect. And the this one is the Molto. So they sort of, because there's sort of lots of those, the sort of predominant colours that are in there. Yeah. So that's the blanket. So that's what I've been working on. And because it's been a little bit chillier, it's been a wee bit cooler this week. I have to say, working on that's been an absolute dream, because I've been able to have it on my lap and just mindlessly crochet away. And there is something to be said. There is something to be said about giving yourself a break and doing something completely and utterly mindless, because I did, like across the summer, I did the field cardigan. That is, I mean, until you get to the body section, that is not mindless. Then I finished off my Niada that I had for a gift, and then I had the little baby cardigan that I did, and I sort of played around with a couple of other things that I thought I'd cast on, and then I just wasn't feeling the love. And now it's been nice to pick that up, actually, and just do it. And it just helps get you recentered for other projects that you want to do. And I've actually thoroughly enjoyed it. And I might do a bit more before I start picking up everything else. So that's the plan. Yes, quite a few of you have been doing lots of deep pilling as well. Yeah, awesome. And so many of you are coming to Cannes. I'm so excited. I am beyond excited. Actually, before I jump into that, I'm just going to show you one other thing before we get off the pulse train. I love this. In fact, I might even do some of this as well, because it's nice and bright. It'll perk it up. This was waiting for me when I got back. This is our latest sample. I just sent off to the wonderful Delene. Look at that! Woo-hoo-hoo! Now this is all one color. So this is literally, I sent Delene a pack of Forte, and this is called the Serenade shawl. Where's the pattern? I did pull the pattern out. Where did I put it? Oh, probably left it on my desk. It's called the Serenade shawl. It is a freebie. I'm going to put this actually out in the don't worry, I'm going to put this out in the newsletter. What I love about it is it's a decent sized shawl. So this is a really good wrap yourself around it, but isn't it just perfect for poles? Look at that, all those colours, amazing. So this is in the Forte. She's finished it off slightly differently in pattern. She's actually just popped a little I-cord bind off. You don't have to do that. You can just have the straight garter bind off. But it's lovely. Speaking of easy, gentle knits, that's what this is. Trucks of garter stitch, nice and simple, what we need this time of year. It is just lovely. Absolutely lovely. Jean is asking, Maree, what book did I knit the baby pattern from? It's called Natural Baby by Peyton's, and it is in stock. So if you just put Natural Baby in, it should come up. We've got some more of those. It's a cracking book, Jean. I bought it last winter, and there's several things in there that I love. But that little cabled cardigan, and it was such a joy to knit. Actually, I really enjoyed knitting it. But yes, Natural Baby is what that one's called. There's a very cute hoodie in there as well. Quite keen. So yeah, anyway, Serenade shawl. I'm going to pop this out in the newsletter, though. Don't panic too much about that. It's a freebie. Yay, we like a freebie. We like free. Free makes us happy. The next thing that makes us happy is clearance. Cleared through these at me this morning. The girls have been doing a huge big post epic sale warehouse rejiggy jig sort out, because of course our flight and pulse arrived in the middle of the epic sale. Timing, worst time ever. So it meant that we had a lot of stuff, things just had to get jammed where they could get jammed. And so the girls have been rearranging and reorganizing and getting the warehouse. Heather's a bit OCD when it comes to stuff like that. So she's getting things how she likes it. So in doing that, of course, things always crop up, because when epic sale is on, it is just absolute mayhem out there, and there's cartons and boxes and yarn bags and what have you everywhere. So quite often things will get missed, or stuff comes in from the mill and they won't, because they know that we've pushed, they'll bring a part of an order over and they won't bring a complete order over, and then they'll bring that over towards the end of the sale and we don't think about it, and then we see it receipted and what have you. So what I have here is actually 5 yarns that fall into that category. They came in right at the very end of the sale and I loaded them up. And then the balance of them arrived after the sale, and the girls were just putting everything away. We just had a look at the numbers that we had, which wasn't huge. So I've just going to put them up for clearance, $2.95 a ball. And there they are there. So they're all technically 4 plies, 140. This guy here's the outline. That one's 150. So that's spun to the same count as Southlander Sport or Treaty Myrtle. These guys are all 140. So they say 4 ply on the label. You can knit them to a 4 ply, but if I'm brutally honest, they're technically a sport weight yarn. Or at one, particularly these guys, these 4 here, at 140 meters, well, baby merino is 134 meters, so it's actually, you can actually knit that as a light DK as well if you really, really wanted to. These are not merino, these are 100% wool. They've got nice spring and bounce to them. The handle is akin to it's a wee bit, I would say they would be softer than Perrindale, close to Chatswood, similar to vintage and handle. Yeah, and they're all these really cute, fun prints. And as you know, with the blanket, I love me a good print. So these are going out at $2.95 a ball. So as I said before, they are at the lighter end, they're at the heavy end of 4-ply sport or the light end of DK. They sort of sit in that zone there. So if you are knitting for charity, particularly if you're knitting like garter stitch things or singlets or fish and chips or anything like this, you'll get away with this on a 4mm needle. I wouldn't push beyond that, but totally get away with it for charity knit. So there's not a huge amount of any of these, but they're all on the sale page right now. So can you buy them, please, so I can get them gone out of the warehouse? Make Heather happy. I need to have a happy Heather. Jackie's asking, what is the cowl I'm wearing today? This is, oh gosh, there we go. Fluff. This is called Rib B. This is one of my cowls. So if you go to my Ravelry, which is under Busky, my last name, and just look at my designs, and this is there, and it's a free download. There's a story behind this, and I probably told you guys this story before, but I'll tell you, it's been a while. So I had a friend who had gone into a very high-end fashion store. It's a very high-end fashion store, and it had a 2x2 ribbed cowl, exactly this size, this depth, in black, and they wanted, I think it was about $170 for it, and this would be at least 10 years ago. Yeah, probably would be 10 years ago. So anyway, we were, and I took one look at it, and she was seriously pondering it, but even for her, she was like, oh, yeah, it seems like a lot of money. And I said to her, and she said to me just jokingly, she goes, I don't suppose you could knit that, could you? And I went, yeah, it's like a 2x2 rib cowl. It's nothing. So I did a quick sort of eyeball measure and count up, and we had, this is how old it is. Un momento, por favor. Yes? Oh, yeah, the Serenade. Yeah, totally. There you go. There we go. Yes, so we had, this is how long it goes back. We just put out, I think, Burlesque. Some of you may remember Burlesque, which was I think it was a wool silk or merino silk single roving that we did for a short time. It was old shop. I do know that it was old shop. Anyhow, and we had it in black, and that's what she wanted. And this thing was in black, and it was a wool. It was a mostly an acrylic blend. So it had sort of the shine to it, but so it wasn't even fully natural fiber. It was crazy. And I just said to her, this is insane. I said the yarn value in that wouldn't even be a couple of dollars. And yeah, and you know what you're paying for is the label. And she goes, oh, I don't care about that. I just want a black ribbed cowl. So there it is, a black, and that's all it is. It's nothing special. Oops, 2x2 rib. So this one's done in Outlaw Bohemia, and it actually takes if you're to do this, it takes about 150 grams. So I used obviously 2 balls of Outlaw Bohemia for this, but I didn't finish all of them. So it does take, yes, but if you're using DK, 3 balls. Soho is great for this because you want something that's soft. The Zodiac that we have just put out would be fabulous for this. What else? If you've got sock petition and stash would be great for this. But it's just, honestly, it is the quickest, fastest, easiest thing. And you can put it on and it just looks great. I've got about 2 or 3 of them. And I thrash them all the time. Fear not, I do have the Harding Road cowl. That is going to come out on Monday. So watch out for your inboxes for Monday. So there you go. Something from me. Right, where did I get before I got distracted? Oh, can. I can. So excited. So I'm really, wow. The registrations went exceptionally well yesterday. Another flurry this morning. Things are selling out fast, and of course, I forgot to grab my book with where things were at. But we've got about six or 7 classes are now sold out. There's a whole heap of classes that are now down to the last 1 or 2 spaces, and I see Annette Montgomery is in the house. Her class is one of them, so she is doing that textured yarn class, which is how to use those textured yarns. There's 1 space left in that class. And believe me, that is going to be an amazing class. So yeah, there was only one. Well, when I came to do this, there was only 1 spot left. Ethan is, I think he's now down to literally the last 1 or 2 spaces in one. So he's doing tubular cast-ons and bind-offs and cabling without a needle. One of each of those classes is already sold out. So the one's already sold out. The final 2, there's literally only, I think, 1 left in one class and 2 left in the other spaces. So you need to get your skates on for those, and pretty much the same for the others. Libs, Knit to Flat is sold out in an absolute heartbeat, along with Miraculous Mending. But she still does have, again, we're all talking less than 5. That is in the Swatching Svengali. I think there's only 3 left in that, 2 or 3 left in that, and the Fixing Lace I think might be 3. So they're all disappearing. Lisa's got a few more in Latvian braid, but again, she's only got 1, I think, in, was it she's got about 4, I think, in the Kitchener, and then 1 on the Intarsia Basics. That's going really, really well. So they're absolutely rocketing out the door. So you need to get in on that. Now, I did see up there before, someone needs to learn to crochet. You should actually take the Harry Flash crochet class, because it's just granny squares. There is actually a link to a video just to teach you the most basic crochet stitches, which honestly you can do on a YouTube video like that. I learned how to crochet when I was about 4 or 5. Didn't pick up a crochet hook again for nigh on 40 years, probably. And then decided that I wanted to have another go. And I actually just did it with a quick, was it YouTube, or it might have even been just the Peyton's How to Crochet, which is a quick guide. And it is honestly just doing basic treble stitch and chain stitch. Those basic stitches are very, very straightforward. And if you can do that, you can do that blanket. And if you can do that blanket, you can do that Harry Flash crochet class, which is a huge amount of fun. Right, Christine is asking, what is the vest that I'm wearing? Oh, I knew I shouldn't have worn this today, because I've been asked this in the shop as well. So this vest, speaking of old, I probably knitted this in... Oh, I don't know. It would be in about 2007. You might have to go back and have a look at my Ravelry actually, because it's old. Like this is old. So what this is it's a I wanted just a little slip over, and I dug it out, and it's actually covered in animal hair. So what it is, so this is a lesson in doing stuff. And did I do it in the round? Yes, I did do it in the round. Okay. I did this vest when I first learned how to knit in the round, because I didn't knit in the round up until that point. So I just wanted a little slip over vest that I could just pop over like this. So it's bottom up. I did a measurement, did a tension square, worked out how many stitches I would need to cast on here, cast them on, didn't even put a hem, straight stocking stitch, straight up to where I wanted armholes. Then I divided for front and back, added a few stitches under the armholes, not many, but just to accommodate for the accommodations up here. So just added a few in, and then this way, and then flipped around on the back. Now, where it's different is, and this is what I did, I didn't actually do much in the way, and in fact, did I do anything in the way of shaping? Yes, I did, just a very minor amount of shaping up to the shoulder, but it was like minor, like it was a very wide neck, and it was, when I looked at it, it was way too wide. So what I then did, this is called making stuff up as you go along, is I then thought, oh, that's way too wide, and you probably can't see it because it's black, and I'm having to have a look to see if I can remember what I did. Yeah, so then what I did is I looked at it and I thought, oh, even the ribbing's not going to work with that because it was super wide. So I went along, picked all the stitches up all the way around. So I'd done the back, put the shoulders in, picked stitches up all the way around, and then I went through and doubled them all. So I doubled the number of stitches in the neck, and then knitted about a centimetre and a half. And that, can I see if you probably can't because it's black. Oh, there we go. You can see there. Then it created this ruffle. But in order to get that ruffle, there you go. See the elastic? I ran some elastic around the neckline, which then created this sort of ruched neckline there. So there you go. Because I was fudging it. And I made it up, and I didn't write it down, and I couldn't even tell you. You have skeins of alpaca. Will it work? Anything will work, Christine. This is merino angora. That was a woolen spun from, I think it was a naturally yarn that was, discontinued 15 years ago. I've actually got my blue sort of cowl neck vest that I've also got. Is in the same yarn. I can't even remember what it was called now. Can't even remember what it's called. I stashed heaps of it because I freaking love the stuff. And they only ever made it for a couple of seasons, mostly in pastel colours, but they did have a black and they did have a very bright sort of a dark, what I would call sort of indigo type blue. And it knits, I think I did this on a 5mm needle, so it sort of knits to about an Aran weight. So if you've got anything will work. I mean, the only proviso with any of this is where swatching comes in, and this is where I learnt back in the day, because back then you didn't have a lot of the size exclusivity that you have in patterns that you have today, right? So often a lot of the pattern books and things that I was getting were, they would only go up to a size that would be 1 or 2 sizes less than what I would normally knit for myself, because they would go up to about a size 14 or a size 16. So in centimetres or inches, it would be like, some of them, the old patterns, 36, some you might have done really well if they went to a 42. At best, I knit anything between a 46 to a 52, depending on what the pattern is and how much ease I want and all the rest. So I had to learn very, very quickly that I just couldn't rely on the one hope somewhere that a designer decided to size out a pattern. So what I then did is once I learnt to go in the round, which then meant that I could create very, very quickly shapes that I could measure as I went. that's where your swatch came in, because that swatch, and this is why Libby's doing the swatching Svengali class, is that swatch is like your little encyclopedia to your knitting. And, there is a reason why we say, have you done a swatch? Because the swatch is the key to everything. It tells you what your finished fabric's going to look like, how it's going to drape, what your sizing will be. If you're doing it without a pattern, you can work out. So you can cut. I mean, and with this, I actually grabbed I think I had a sweatshirt that fit in terms of the ease, and the fit was just bang on. It was perfect. So I measured the sweatshirt so I could get a diameter. So because I had a finished diameter, I had a swatch that was washed in blocks, so I knew what the finished dimension was on the swatch. I then the calculator came out and the knit maths happened, and it was as simple as that, really. So, and I do stuff like that all the time, and it's actually really sad because I don't do as much of that as I used to, because every time I do that now, you guys say to me, you're going to write that up in a pattern, and you know what I'm like, how many years did it take the ratio poncho to come out? I'm a shocker. I'm an absolute shocker. But it was funny because I've worn this morning. It was the first thing V said to me this morning when I got in. She goes, you really do need to get some of these vests and shell things, because I've got quite a few of these that I made back in the day. And and they're quick and they're handy and they're easy. But there's nothing stopping you guys doing it. Just do it. Speaking of, just do it. You may have noticed that that's the new theme for the month. Kim Phillips is our winner from last month. If you're listening to this, Kim, I have sent you a PM. So congratulations to you. And yes, just do it. Just do it. Honestly, what could go wrong? And if it goes wrong, frog it. But as I said, this is completely plain. It's just two rectangles with a little bit of shaping. Now, look, I did a little bit of jiggery pokery with the neck, but you don't have to do this jiggery pokery with the neck if you don't want to. And part of the reason I had to do the jiggery pokery with the neck, actually, as you can see, it was actually a bit big up here, and I wanted to pull it in. And, and of course you can do that with shaping through here, which of course at the time, I hadn't figured that out at the time, but there's, you'll be amazed at what you can figure out and what knit knowledge you actually had that you didn't know you had. Right. Okay, on that, I need to keep going. I'm going to, and as I said before, these are on the clearance page. Make sure you snap those, not that much left. So snap those up. I will get a shot of that Serenade shawl and show you that and put that out in the newsletter today, because I think that's loads of fun. And until then, I will catch you all next week. And the cowl, the cowl is going to come out on Monday. Very excited about that. And I've got fabulous samples to show you. They will be amazing. So until then, take care, and I will talk to you all then. See you later. Bye.